Good afternoon, and thank you for joining me for another office hours training this last day of October 2024 and this last day of Financial Planning Awareness Month. So today, let's talk about strategies for building generational wealth. There's so many conversations about it. How do you do it? How do you maintain it? All of the things. So building generational wealth allows you to provide financial security and opportunities for your children and your grandchildren, right? By implementing the right strategies, you can create a legacy that benefits future generations. But it's more than just passing down money. It's about creating a legacy that supports your family for years to come. I always say, think about 10 generations down. If you think about 10 generations down and every generation is taught to think about the next 10 generations, right? How do you change the trajectory of your legacy, your family? So today, let's just look at a few practical strategies to build and sustain wealth across generations. Sometimes we think that this is when it comes to finances, sometimes we think that things are so difficult, right? And it's not. You just have to do the things. You just got to do them, right? And you're not going to do them and they're going to all be done in one day. But you have to start a process. You have to start doing something. So, one, invest in assets with long-term value, right? When we talk about building generational wealth, invest in assets that build long-term value. So focus on appreciating assets like real estate, stocks in some cases, businesses that can grow in value and provide income for future generations. Do you have your own business, small business? And let's just say it's fine. It's just you at this point. Start with the end in mind. What's the exit strategy? Are you going to work this business and then not and just close it? Are you building it to pass it down to future generations? Are you building it for the future generation, right, to buy it from you, right? What are you doing with that business? But build it. Again, that's a appreciating asset. How about precious metals? Gold, silver. Gold has gone up to $2,700 an ounce. And I think precious metals, silver, which has been suppressed, is high 30s at this point. So precious metals, art. Become an art lover. People have art on their walls. Well, what about buying art that will appreciate over time, right? So look at diversifying the assets that will appreciate, and then be sure to use the insurance to protect the assets. Okay. And so think about it. You can't, are we really passing down gym shoes and purses and clothes? It's only a few cars that are gonna hold its value or appreciate in value. So what are the assets that you're using, that you're purchasing, that you can pass down, right, to the next generation? And establish trusts and estate plans. So set up the trust accounts and legal structures to manage the wealth, minimize taxes, and ensure your assets are distributed according to your wishes, right? So you need your financial dream team to make all of this happen. And I serve as a strategist and life insurance agent for many and refer them out to the areas that I don't do. So I'm helping you pull other people and build your financial dream team, because you have to start thinking about those things when we want to pass down generational wealth, right? The third thing is prioritizing financial education. It is huge. Listen, it's not taught in schools. Some schools are teaching it. More are starting. There's been some laws about it has to be taught in school, but the basis of what you're going to learn in school is not what you need to know. It's a good start, but you have to prioritize financial education for you and for your children. And the earlier you start with your children, the better. So teach your children and your grandchildren the basics of financial literacy so that they understand how to manage and grow wealth responsibly. But also, they need to know more than the basics, because the basics is not going to have you building the wealth that you can pass down, right? But they have to know. And so again, when we talk about this generational wealth, it's not enough to just pass the assets down. They have to know what to do with those assets. They have to have the knowledge. And that knowledge doesn't come when they get the asset, right? The knowledge starts when they're children. So the younger they are, the better. So start teaching them. But in order to teach them, guess what? That means you got to learn it too, right? And so because you want to, if we're passing down generational wealth, you want the next generation to continue to build on the wealth and pass it down. And the next generation continues to build on the wealth and pass it down. And so you can look at the story of the Rockefellers and the Vanderbilts. And I don't care what you feel about them personally, but the Vanderbilts' wealth got built, and then, 3, 4, 5 generations, there was no more wealth. Rockefellers still have wealth to this day. The reason being is because the Vanderbilts did not do a good job at making sure that the future generations understood. In order for that, I need to be thinking about the next 10 generations. The next generation needs to be thinking about the next 10 generations. And so when you start to do that, right, if you don't do that and they're just out spending money and being out in society and doing all of these things, but they're not replenishing and building more wealth, then eventually the wealth that's built will die out. And now 4 generations later, you're back with somebody saying, okay, well, wait, we need to build some more wealth, right? So if you teach your children and grandchildren from a very, very young age, the rules, what we're supposed to do, this is what we do in this family. That is how you build that generational wealth, but that is how you also get to keep that generational wealth for 300 generations, right? And then lastly, use life insurance as a wealth tool. Consider life insurance policies with cash value options or policies designed for legacy planning to provide a financial safety net for future generations, right? So again, we can talk through all of that, but using that life insurance, I have done workshop after workshop, and often there's someone in the workshop where I mention a way that you can use life insurance, and they're like, I had no idea you could do that. That's where that financial education comes in. That's why you need to be in every seat every time there is. I don't care if it's the same titled workshop, you're going to learn something different every single time. And when you start putting things in place, you're going to have more questions. So using that life insurance as a wealth tool, but also making sure that those generations that follow know, right? So we talked about retirement planning yesterday, and again, being able to use life insurance is one of those things. Being able to use life insurance to protect those assets that we talked about, real estate, businesses, art, being able to use life insurance for that, but also being able to provide not just a death benefit, but an opportunity to transfer wealth. And we don't do that enough. So do me a favor and think about your children and the next 10 generations that follow. What do you currently have in place to pass down to them? Building generational wealth requires dedication, smart planning, and a commitment to financial literacy. By taking the steps, you can help secure a stronger financial future for you today, your family today, and the 10 generations down that follow, right? When we talk about that 2053 prediction of Blacks having zero wealth, helping and having a plan to build, pass down, and maintain generational wealth is how we disrupt that 2053 prediction into years to come, right? So if we're going to do this, the new systems have to start with us. But you got to learn those systems and you got to put them in place. All right. So What is my favorite thing for today? Building generational wealth. Let's just build the generational wealth, right? Like, why not? Let's just do a radical thing and build some generational wealth for the next 10 generations. Put the plan in place and then be able to do the thing. And it's simple today. Again, it's the last day of the month. Start today and do the work. That's it. Start today and do the work. And remember to always give yourself some grace. Keep striving for your next level. Never give up on you, and always invest in you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am Crystal L. Gunn, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. Be sure to join me for the private online Q&A immediately following. The link is in the description. And if you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe to my channel and turn notifications on so you never miss this opportunity. Thank you again, and I will see you